Ladies, gentlemen of the press, I am pleased to brief you on the outcome of our meeting with His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, President, Commander-in-Chief, Federal Republic of Nigeria. You recall that in May 2023, we had a meeting with the former President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, when a decision was taken to postpone the census to allow the new administration to not just partake in it, but to own it and drive the process to its logical conclusion. Today, I had the opportunity of briefing our new president, who has so far taken right steps in the right direction, and we consider this step as a right step. So we briefed him fully on the level of our preparedness, the outcomes that we envisage. And I'd like to say that Mr. President has graciously approved to support the Commission in the conduct of the census. And our preparatory activities, though, were not stopped at all, but he has given us the courage, the impetus to upscale our preparation. So we will continue our preparation, and we'll hear from him eventually the date that the census will take place, because we made a submission to him that he will study before getting back to us. But as for assurance of support, he has given that to us, and we thank him immensely for this, for also realizing the importance of data for the purpose of national planning and development. I'd like to stop here. It's true that we may have to incur additional expenses if we stay much longer than necessary. But in this situation, we have given the President full brief, including the implication of further delay in the conduct of the census. So we are very mindful, and Mr. President is very amenable to be able to entertain our requests. As for the expenditure of 200 billion, no doubt we have incurred that expenditure. Conducting a digital census is not cheap. And mind you, this is like a foundational census. Subsequent censuses will not be this expensive, because we've established a frame that we can only be updating. And going forward, with improvement in the ICT, we will employ more methodologies that will save money for us. We have the CAPI. What we're doing now is CAPI. That is visiting every household in the country to enumerate. When there is improvement in telecommunication, we are hoping we can do telephony we can do webs, where we can throw in questionnaires, people will respond without having to deploy personnel into the field. That's looking into next census beyond this one that we're planning to conduct. And this expenditure, like I had said before, is right from 2014 to where we are now. We're still going to seek more money to be able to complete the census. And once this census is conducted, Nigeria will change completely. The completion of the census and the resources that we have acquired in the process of conducting this census will more than pay back that 200 billion that you're talking about. More than pay back. And the government will even have some more surplus in the coffers by the time we finish conducting the census. It's an investment because in the process of preparing for the census, we're able to generate geospatial data that will bring in income to the government. It's not just the statistical data. The geospatial data will rake in money for government. Thank you. You see, when we start operating, you will see it. You will see it.
Want to explain? Mr. Adebayo can explain.
Okay. Let me have a director. Yeah.
Gentlemen of the press, just like the chairman has just said, that the money that has been spent, especially for pre-field exercise for the census, is actually going to be a huge investment for Nigeria, because the geospatial industry all over the world has a very bright future, and Nigeria happens to be one of the first in Africa that has generated a kind of data, geospatial data that we have generated for the census. And this geospatial data is going to be integrated with the statistical data that we are going to collect on the field. And that means that every population and housing data we are generating is going to be geo-referenced. And aside from that, we are creating a lot of other geospatial resources like compendium of locality for the entire country. We are right now collaborating with NIPOST, and we are delineating Nigeria into the postcode area, which is the second in Africa. And you know that Nigeria is doing a lot towards digital economy. And with the postcode area delineation, we are going to come up with the addressing system for the country. And there are other resources. If you go online, you will see that the geospatial industry, by the year 2028, will be generating up to $145 billion. And Nigeria is poised right with the geospatial resources that we have generated in the course of preparing for the census to be part of those who will benefit from the geospatial industry. Right now, I'm sure you are seeing a lot of the presence of Bill and Melinda Gates in Nigeria. In Africa generally, they are investing a lot to coming up with geospatial data. And we are saying, Africa for Africa, our terrain is different from the Western world, and these are things we have taken into consideration in coming up with the geospatial data for Nigeria. We have unique schema that is identifying every locality in Nigeria, even up to the smallest settlements. And we are not just doing that, we are going beyond demarcating the country into rural and urban. We are going into 6 classification, which is the first time a country in Africa is doing this. So if the chairman is saying that what Nigeria has spent on the geospatial generation of geospatial data is an investment, is not mincing words. Thank you.